Hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for coming. This is our week 3 out of the 5 weeks to staying healthy during the holidays. So if you have joined us on the program, this is right around day 10 that you have now begun the program if you started with us right away. And we're going to talk a little bit about tips and tricks. This is really the time where you've fallen in love. For those that are on the call, wave your hands, give thumbs up if you have definitely fallen in love with these foods and products. Yay! Right? Makes such huge difference to our lives and how we live every single day. So tonight we do have 3 incredible stories of beautiful women that have fallen in love and kind of where this journey has taken them. But before we begin that, I want to talk a little bit about week 3 and some tips, tricks, different things to really help this continue to be the best program for you. Right now you've cleansed or you're probably cleansing. If you're with me and on schedule, today is the second day of the second set of cleansing. So we're almost finished, but this is where you should really start feeling great and have tons of energy and sleeping well and probably lost some weight if that's what your body wanted to do. This is the time when you realize what you cannot go without. And for a lot of us, the shakes, cleanse, ionic, without a question, you will not take that out of your nutrition and your diet because it's made such a huge impact. So I want to thank you guys so much for coming. We're going to keep right on track. We're going to have a 30-minute call, go over tips and tricks and the 3 stories. So with a couple of the tricks, you get to a point where your body will constantly transform and it will always change. And your nutrition that you're eating is always going to make a difference. You continue to do whatever the body needs to do. If your body needs to gain more muscle or get stronger or to help just get better from something maybe that you've gone through recently, or maybe you're working with your mind, and we're going to talk about healthy mind and body very soon. Or maybe you're here for the weight loss. You'll notice that you constantly transform and change in these different areas. But right around week 3, week 4 is where you just begin to feel great, but you don't notice those changes quite as much. So this is where I will receive some phone calls with some people about I dropped tons of weight, but I want to keep dropping all of that weight. And that's for people that really want to lose weight. So here's some tips and some tricks to help you guys with that. First of all, you have to always be very careful about how many grams of protein you're eating. If you're not eating enough, your body will go into hoarding and starvation mode. And we don't lose weight when that happens. You're not going to build muscle. All the different things that we're doing the system for is not going to happen. So we have to make sure we stay on top of our protein, much more than anything else. We don't count calories. We watch everything like our sugar content and saturated fat and so on, but we're really looking at grams of protein. One really easy way to figure this out is by using a journal, an electronic journal like MyFitnessPal. There's several of them out there. Just keep track of everything, and you have to be fair to yourself and keep track of every single thing, even that little bite of your children's food that they didn't eat. You need to log that because those add up. And if you're a parent or a mom, a lot of times that's where we get a few extra 100 calories is by finishing our kids' meal. So very important not to do that. If you work out, you want to have more protein. And the general rule is 75% of your goal weight should be the amount of grams of protein you have every day. If you don't work out, a little bit more sedentary, you want 50%, 50. One way to figure out grams of protein is the general rule, 7 ounces of protein, 1 ounce of protein is 7 grams of protein. But if you're using MyFitnessPal, it will help you to figure all of that out. The other thing, people always want to lose more in the belly, right? Does anyone here want to lose more in your belly, or did you first started? Right, very common. We have something called a bedtime belly buster. You're not going to find it in our catalogs or online. It's something someone made up years ago, but it's phenomenal and it works. And it is a combination of a couple different things, but definitely our Ice Pro. Our Ice Pro has no sugar or carbs. It's just 18 grams of protein. And you take 1 scoop of that, about 6 ounces of water, and you can do multiple different things. You can do a scoop of our greens, or Replenish, or our Fiber Pro right before you go to bed, about 30 to 60 minutes before you go to bed, with 2 of the IsoFlush that come in our products. We're actually going to be hearing about those tonight. And it's going to help you go to sleep. So if you do have some sleeping issues and you want better sleep, then that's going to help you with that. It also helps to shut down the brain. So if you are having trouble, your mind is constantly thinking, have a second dose of Ionics. But it also helps to have better digestion and to lean out the body, because you're providing your body protein all day and all night. So we highly recommend the bedtime belly buster. Ask the person who invited you here about that. They'll help you get that ordered. Next would be Isa Snacks. Those little wafers that you received in your packs. People call them Scooby Snacks. We'll have all kinds of different names for them that aren't necessarily the correct name. But they are mini compressed shakes, and they actually burn fat. The more of those that you eat, the more fat you are going to lose. So feel free to eat 2, 4, 6, 8 a day. The people that we've had on this program that are wanting to lose large amounts of weight usually eat about 6 to 8 a day. And they have seen a difference in how much faster it actually happens. They keep you satiated, your blood sugar stays stable, and again, it helps to melt the fat. So please enjoy those ice snacks with a glass of water, and have 2 at a time. Enzymes and Fiber Pro. So many people in our world have issues with their gut, and they're really having some digestion issues. You may even be on the call right now, or maybe you're listening to the recorded version of that, but it's extremely common. Isagenix has put together programs to help people with that, and the enzymes and the Fiber Pro are going to do that. Our Fiber Pro has more fiber, but it also has probiotics in it. It's tasteless, colorless. You can put it in shakes, on salads, in your cooked meals, whatever you want to do with it, oatmeal. You can really put it in everything to help give you more fiber. And then our enzymes are incredible. So if you have specific questions about either of those products, please let us know. But they are definitely a great one to add on with your next order, or if you want to just make an additional order. Also doing some form of exercise. You're now been doing this for at least 3 weeks, if not longer. And we don't tell you that you have to exercise on this program, because the nutrition is just going to work as long as you are doing the correct food and drinking water. But when you can start adding exercise into your program, your body's going to react even better. So whether that's just standing while you're brushing your teeth and doing calf exercises for 2 minutes, you're going to work your calves, your feet, your toes, your thighs, your buttocks, your abs. Everything gets worked from that one exercise. And that's just going up and down on your calves and your toes. If you can plank, a couple push-ups, or even just, I can show you, keeping your arms out and doing arm circles. Like LaDonna showed us a couple weeks ago, just jumping on a little trampoline makes a huge difference. But try to just move your body. And if anything, if you can just, when you reach for something, just reach for it. Use your muscles. While you're laying in bed at night, squeeze your buttocks and do little buttocks exercises, or your abs, or if you're sitting at your office, at your desk. There are a lot of things we can do to help our bodies, even if you're not used to exercise and you just want to add a few extra things. You have to change up your foods and the times that you eat the food. It's so important. If you're eating the same foods every day at the same time, your body has gotten used to that. So it's extremely important to have different types of foods and different times of the day. If you normally have a snack at 10, maybe do a snack at 9:30. Your body will be like, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting that. And then at 10 o'clock, you'll be like, where's my snack? So both times it's worked hard because you've taken it off routine. And that's really the key when doing this program, is to make sure that you, Changing the view on the computer. Ah, it doesn't want to do that. All right. I interrupted, sorry. Oh, my own little thing. Anyways, your body, just like you've always heard about muscle confusion, there's also food confusion. So important to change up the foods and the times. If you want to start taking out particular foods, again, we're not in a type of company or program that we're going to tell you to not use or eat certain things because we know our program will work. But if you want it to work better, really need to take out any form of sugar, including fruit, just for 30 days. You can add stuff back in either after your 30 days or once you get to more of a maintenance or here and there in moderation. But if you're eating fruit every single day, it's really hard for your body to burn the sugar that you've already given it if you're constantly giving it more. So either take it out or replace it in very small amounts. And if you can replace it with berries or apples or pears, they're your lowest glycemic sugar. Also milk products. I know a lot of people want to add almond milk, coconut milk, or even regular milk to our shakes. It is not needed and highly recommended that you do. Keep them as plain as possible with water and ice. And again, I know a lot of people like to add things to your shakes, and a lot of people love to add almond butter, peanut butter, or banana, or even all three. You're adding sugar, and you're adding a ton of sugar. So please keep your shakes as clean as possible, water and ice. If you need to flavor it up, add some spices. Right now, it's a great time of the year to add pumpkin spice or nutmeg or cinnamon or something like that. Alcohol. Alcohol is a big one not to do right now. If you really truly want to see your results and know what this program does for you, cut out the alcohol because it is going to inhibit. Also, coffee will do the same thing. Unless you're drinking the Isagenix coffee, which is made with green tea extract and coconut oil, the coffees that are out there are really acidic and they stop us from losing weight or feeling the best we can. All right, just a few things as we begin the parties before the holidays, and then we'll have our speakers talk. But read your labels, and please do not add artificial sugar. Before you go out to dinner, a couple tips so that you don't reach for the bread or overindulge. Have a shake before you go, or a half a shake, or even a cup of Ionics or an Ice of Delight or Ice of Snacks. All of those will help to curb your appetite and keep you a little bit more satiated so you can go for the good, healthy things. After your dinner, if you did eat that or if you drank it all, just get some cleansing before you go to bed. It'll help clean out what you did that night. And then if you're traveling, make sure you take your supplies with you. Very important to always have your products with you. You don't need to stop this program just because you're going on vacation. You don't need to stop this program because you want to have Thanksgiving Day dinner. Just do little things to help you. All right, so those were my tips for tonight. Now I would like to go ahead and get started with our speakers. We have some incredible speakers tonight. I'm going to start with Sarah Duguid, and she's going to talk about her story. She began after she gave birth to her twin. Sarah, if you could let us know how all of this has worked for you and what you would like to share with everyone. I'm going to mute it. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Stephanie. Hi, everyone. As Stephanie said, my name is Sarah. I'm a wife, a mom, a dog lover, and an HR professional. I live in the Denver area, and I love to get out and enjoy kind of everything that Colorado has to offer. Prior to my pregnancy, I was a runner and ran in some half marathons and just kind of on the weekend, and when my husband forced me and all of that kind of stuff. And I really hope to get back to it soon and miss it. As Stephanie said, I started Isagenix a few weeks ago. My girls are almost 1, and I've been talking with people about Isagenix now for probably the last 4 or 5 months. Hesitant to get in for all sorts of reasons, right? But one of the things that I think I like the most about it is having the nutrition in a really easy format. And because my girls keep me so busy, I'm not reaching for Danishes, right? I'm not stopping at Starbucks every day and getting a 500 calorie coffee and a 300 calorie Danish and eating until, I just was making myself sick. And the energy, right? I didn't have a lot of energy. So by the time we put the girls down for the night, my husband and I was exhausted. I was tired. I was done, and I was grumpy. It just wasn't something that was working. So, like I said, I started out my journey a few weeks ago. I'm a few pounds lighter, but I think what I feel is the difference in me. I really am able to look at myself in the mirror now. My little mom pooch, right, that my girls created while they were inside has started to shrink, and I can see my abs starting to form again, which is always exciting. For me, it's not necessarily how much I weigh, it's how I feel. I really wish that I'd known about Isagenix, that I'd started this journey a lot earlier. When I found out that I was pregnant with twins, my doctor told me that I was going to be as big as a house. He actually used the word duplex as what my size was going to be. And I laughed, but at the same time, I cringed, because I never wanted to be that person who was out of control. And this definitely felt like an out of control moment for me. But I would do, right, whatever it took to make sure that my babies were healthy, that I was okay, and we were good throughout this whole process. I went and I saw a nutritionist, and at that time she told me that I would have to consume 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day to take care of myself and my girls. I left the appointment in absolute tears. It was awful, because I had no idea how I was going to eat that much. In a healthy manner, in a healthy way, and still like do my job and, care for my husband and do all these other things. Like, as it was, I was eating all the time. So for really the first time in my life, I tracked everything that I ate. I was eating 6, 7, sometimes 8 times a day. And now all I can think about is, what if I had known about Isagenix at that time? How much easier my life would have been if I could have replaced some of those mini meals and things like that with a shake or 2 or 3, right? And my stress levels, just wondering about how I was going to care for my family, would have been a lot lower. Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to try and find out. I'm not going to try and get pregnant again, because I am scared to death that I'm going to have a set of twins again. But I am happy to report my girls will be 1 on Saturday. Harper was born at 7 pounds, 9 ounces, and Ryan was born at 5 pounds, 15 ounces. I was able to keep him in for 38 weeks. I was strong and I felt really good. I wish I'd had it even after my pregnancy. We were busy. We were so crazy busy. Gosh, it's hard to believe it's already been a year. As far as Isagenix products go, I think my favorite so far has been the Isoflush. That is something that I don't think I realized was my favorite until I missed a couple of my doses, if you will, right? A couple of the sessions of me taking it. But my body certainly reminded me. And, I don't know that I was a regular kind of gal, if you know what I mean, before. But when I take it, I feel better. And the good thing is that in my experience, at least, it's not something that gives me that rumbly tummy or, makes you have a fast trip to the bathroom or anything like that. It's really a good product for me. For me, my tip, if you will, right, has been to have a partner that is supportive of your journey. Have somebody that holds you accountable, whether it's your best friend, it's your spouse, it's a coworker, whomever it is, right? Somebody that can be supportive, understands the choices that you're making, and then helps you keep on track. That when you want to fall off, when you want to make a choice, right, that maybe isn't the best thing for you to do, that they turn around and say, hey, this maybe isn't what you're working for, right? I'm really grateful to Melissa, who has stuck by my side, let me ask her 1.5 million questions about this whole thing, and has just been really an integral part of my journey. And really, for right now, I wish everyone the best, a happy Thanksgiving, and a good holiday season. Now, I would like to introduce you to Fiona Preston Bryan. She is our next speaker. And what I love the most, kind of what I've learned about her so far, is that she stopped looking at the scale and has become more focused on her nutrition, which I think is powerful. On to you.
Awesome. That was fantastic, Sarah. Thank you so much for that. I love hearing your story, and now I know even more. All right, Fiona.
Hi. Yeah, I am Fiona Bryan, and I am 44 years old, and I have 3 kids. They're a little bit older than the 1-year-olds. I have a 16-year-old, a 13-year-old, and an 11-year-old. So I'm pretty busy, and I work full-time from home. Yeah. And so before Isagenix, I was probably the worst chronic yo-yo dieter you have ever met. I was also a exercise junkie. And so a combination of just basically routinely undernourishing my body every fall after having gained about 15 pounds every summer, and then spending a year losing it. My body was breaking down. I had aches and pains. I had minor injuries. I would try to go to the gym and get a work. Loaded. I was just completely high strung. And so in September, I actually injured my hip enough that doctor basically said to me, you can't do anything for 2 weeks. And for me, that was horrible. I remember being in bed for about 3 days on muscle relaxers, thinking to myself, one, oh my God, I'm going to gain enormous amounts of weight. This is when I'm supposed to be losing the weight that I just gained. And I also, for me, exercise, one of the reasons why I'm an exercise junkie is that that's how I manage my stress. I didn't know what I was going to do. However, about 2 years ago, Chris Bird had introduced me to Isagenix, and for a variety of reasons, I never took her up on the offer to try it. I went back to her 2 or 3 times. I was an information junkie. I was a little skeptical. I felt like for whatever reason, wasn't ready to do it. But those 3 days in bed, I was surfing the net, and this challenge pops up, 30-day challenge. And I called Chris and I said, I'm doing this. I'm desperate. Tell me what to do. And so 43 days ago, I started putting Isagenix products in my body. And within 3 days, I felt a sense of calm come over me. The Isagenix Supreme, I'm sure that's what it is. I started researching adaptogens, and I realized, oh my gosh, this is the exercise. It definitely helped me get through all of my physical therapy. And I all of a sudden had a tool I'd never had before. And at the same time, I was putting all of this protein in my body. And in about 14 days, I had lost 6 pounds, but I put a picture on Facebook. And when I looked at it, I realized I had so much inflammation and so much bloat, and my hormones had been so out of crazy that it looked like I had probably lost about 15 pounds, maybe more. And people were just very complimentary. It made me feel really good. And so I was motivated to go on more. And so I did. And so now 43 days in, I really can't imagine at what point I would depart from using most of the products that I'm currently using now. I'm using the Amped products at the gym. My husband's using the products. My kids love the shakes. We're just kind of like, it's infiltrated our house. And so now I have all of this energy. I'm glowing almost, I think. I am in the grocery store and I'm having conversations with people, and I catch myself doing it, and I realize that this is the person that I've always been. I just have been living under a blanket of just malnourishment, I think. So I'm just very, very grateful to that. And the scale was mentioned. And I do have to say that when Stephanie asked me about what my favorite product was, I thought about it. And really, if you'd asked me, a month or so ago, I wouldn't have said the Healthy Mind and Body program. But really, that is probably the best compliment to the Isagenix system, because I went through the motions and sort of was like, oh, I've done programs like this before, whatever, la, la, la. 3 weeks in, I caught myself looking back at some of the answers that I had given, and I realized how miserable I had been and how far I had come. And just having that record was amazing. But also now, I did 43 today, and you start circling back and you start realizing how much personal progress you've made. So there are a lot of aspects of nutrition that go beyond what we put in our body. And so, yeah, I actually don't weigh myself every day anymore. And that's a huge thing for me. Very huge thing for me. And I think this is the first time in my life I've had my nutrition under control and not been afraid of what was going to happen when it came back. I've let go and that weight is gone. So that's that. And my tip actually for anybody who takes on the program is really eating on a schedule. Whether you're switching it up, like Stephanie said, it's really good to have little reminders for yourself, because I was not eating breakfast before. I was not eating regularly. I would go all day, and then all of a sudden I'd be like, all I'd had was coffee. And so at the beginning for me, it was really important for me to set reminders to have my morning shake, to have my snack, to make sure I got my afternoon shake in or my lunch shake in before it got too late, because otherwise I'm crammed at the end of the day. So that's my tip. Either set reminders, or there's also a really good app named My Shake Day app. So.
Fantastic. Oh my gosh, Fiona, I loved hearing that story and all the changes and the beautiful things that have occurred and everything that you've gone through. And just so you know, the one gentleman that waved, the first one, not the second one, but the first one, is the owner of Healthy Mind and Body, Rod Hairston.
No way!
He was giving you his blessing. He's over there right now.
He heard me saying that I went through the motions.
I'll have to let him know you were talking about his program right when he came up. So that was perfect timing. But thank you, girls. We're going to let Heather continue to drive home, because Heather is driving in the snow in Colorado right now. So we will get her on our next call for sure. But I know she has a fantastic story as well. And Fiona and Sarah, thank you guys so much for sharing your stories. Always incredible. And your stories make a huge difference to other people and how they make the decision of if they want to join, how they're going to join, and the results that they receive. Because if someone else can do it, they can too. So I appreciate your vulnerability and your rawness for sharing what you've gone through, both before, during, and after. It helps. It makes a big difference for everybody. And if you are just joining us, or if you're just looking at the program, know that everyone started the same way. Most of us were skeptical or questioning or just not quite sure, but we had hope. And that's the best thing you can do, is just have that hope and that mindset that this is going to work for me. We are going to be adding something extremely special, and Fiona touched on it. We are going to be adding a personal development program to what we're doing, and we're starting at the beginning of December. So it's called Healthy Mind and Body. And the owner, Ron Hairston, and some of his partners will be helping us with this. And it's going to take us from an unconscious state of our not understanding or knowing what our bad habits are to a conscious level of what they are and why we do it, to a conscious level of we want to change those bad habits, to an unconscious level of just changing them and just living an extremely healthy lifestyle and making good choices. So if you're with us now, we will begin that program at the beginning of December as a group, so that we can work together, like Fiona brought up tonight, and what the changes that it makes for you. If you are looking at us, this is the program that actually takes you. So if your head's not straight in any area of your life, whether it's your relationship or your job or just life or income or anything, this program helps take us to the best state possible. So not only are you going to get the best nutrition, but you're also going to get the best mindset ever. So with that, I want to go ahead and close out tonight. I want to thank you guys all so much for joining us. Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Fiona, and thank you, Heather, Melissa, and Chris for moderating. We appreciate all of you guys. We will be back next Monday, the 21st, at the same time. Continue to watch the posts, continue to add your stories, and thank you guys all so much for being here. Love you guys. Have a great evening.
Bye, Stephanie.